Gives me great pleasure to introduce Bart to you. Bart is Maynooth University cybersecurity expert. Where is Maynooth, you may ask? And this guy has an accent that gives it away at once. So I'm not going to tell you. Bart, with that, I will pass the floor to you and stop my share so that you can take over. Thank you very much.
So I am on the Emerald Isle, about 20 miles inland of Dublin City, a charming little university town called Maynooth. So what I want to talk to you guys today is how to stay ahead of the baddies. I am, as Raymond said, I'm the cybersecurity specialist with Maynooth University. I used to be a sysadmin, mostly Linux, bit of Windows. Even did a bit of lecturing in the Department of Computer Science for a couple of years. That was fun. And I also do software development, IT consulting. I do a bunch of podcasts, some of which with the wonderful Alison Sheridan, who I need to thank for proofreading my slides for today. She was subjected to these many times in many drafts. I only have an hour, so I'm just going to sort of say, actually, yeah. In case you're wondering, I'm a bit of a Mac fan, and I realized after putting all this together, I left out my new MacBook Pro. But basically, I've been buying a lot of Apple stuff forever and ever and ever, and I adore Apple stuff. So I'm your people, as well as my day job. Right, the most important message for today is don't panic. Right, you are absolutely not powerless. And last year, I was using a slide from Microsoft's 2022 report, and Microsoft said that if you did the basics, you were safe 98% of the time. And the new report came out a few weeks ago, and I was happy to see you can now stay safe 99% of the time by just doing the basics, which is very reassuring. It's one of those things that the easiest things to do have the biggest impact. So you really do have the power to do everything you do really helps, which is so reassuring. So anyway, you'll see Microsoft have 5 very business speak things on their chart. We're going to circle all the way back to those at the end of this hour, and I'm going to translate them into humanese for you. But basically, the basics are what really matters. Now, in order to protect yourself, the single most important thing to understand is who is out to get you. Who are the baddies? Now, when I have my work hat on, I have to worry about all sorts of things. For example, there's a massive rise in nation-state actors, particularly China, going after universities because they want to steal all of our cool research. But home users have it much, much simpler. There is one group of baddies trying to get at regular folk, and that is cyber criminals. Now, some people may be unlucky enough to have bigger worries. If you are an important person, a business leader, or a politician, there are others out to get you. If you do campaigning or you're some sort of minor celebrity, or very unfortunately, if you're the victim of stalking or some sort of partner abuse, you have different worries. But for the vast majority of us, it's the cyber criminals who are out to get us. And what's really great about them is that they're very simple people. They are motivated by exactly one thing: profit, right? If they can just get your money by stealing it from you or extorting it out of you, great, they'll take your money. If they can steal something of value, like if you got on board with cryptocurrency or the NFT boom while it was still a thing, although Sam Bankman-Fried may be putting an end to people's interest in that. But if you were on board with crypto, they'll love stealing crypto wallets because the fact that it's untrackable and so forth is really useful to a criminal. If they can't steal something of value directly, like your money or your cryptocurrency, they will go after your data because that can be sold. There's an entire marketplace for data, and you might not think that you have anything of value, but when you collect enough of it, it is valuable. So you might buy 1,000 credit cards for $100. Well, then, you're still worth something to them. They're going to try to steal your stuff. The other thing that there's a marketplace for is accounts, because spammers are always being shut down, right? X and Facebook and everyone is always trying to get rid of the spammers. So what they want is working usernames and passwords. And so there's a marketplace where you can go and buy people's Facebook accounts, which you will then abuse to send out your spam or whatever. So your accounts are of value. And the other thing they can steal from you is simply your resources, right? They need to send out spam emails. They need to do all sorts of different attacks. So they need someone's computer. Why not yours? Well, because you don't want it to be yours, but That is what they're interested in, right? So your money, your crypto, your data, your accounts, and your resources, because they only want profit. Now, the great thing about the fact that they're so simplistic that they only want profit is that it's much easier to defend ourselves. Right? If you have an adversary who is motivated by some sort of ideology, if you're a campaigner and there are people who disagree completely with whatever it is you're campaigning on, they don't care how much money they spend to go after you. Or if you come to the attention of Russia or China, they have infinity pockets and they can throw all the money in the world at going after you. But if the people who are interested in attacking you are only interested in making a profit, then they're only going to go after the people who it's cheap to go after. So you don't need to protect yourself to be completely impenetrable by, a nation state actor or whatever. You just have to be more expensive to hack than you're worth. You need to be economically unappealing. And that's much easier to do than to be perfectly protected. And of course, every little thing you do helps. Because if the attackers are going to go after the 100 easiest targets and you're the 101st, job done. Right? So everything you do helps, and it is not an impossible mountain to climb. So how do they go after us to try and make their profit? Well, they attack either the squishy organic bit or the technology we squishy organic things like to use. So to go after the squishy organic bit, they will try to trick us, or they may just extort us. Completely honest. Yeah, we've encrypted all of your data. We're criminals. Now you have to pay us or you're not getting your data back. Right? So there's no trickery in extortion. It's just extortion. And in terms of our technology, they want to either become digital us, so take over our accounts and become us and then act as us, log into our bank, transfer all of our money to whatever. Or they want to take over our devices and take control of our phones or our Macs and then use our phones or our Macs to do whatever. So either they steal your accounts or they steal your devices. And that's how they're going after you. So that's what you need to be alert for. Obviously, how do we defend ourselves? That is the whole point of this discussion. So no technology is better than vigilance. Just thinking about things is often enough to nip an awful lot of problems in the bud, right? Always be on the alert, be very suspicious of the unexpected, and do your darndest to keep thinking rationally. And know that one of the things they will try to do is to short-circuit your rationality. They will try to make you not be rational, because pretty much everyone who ends up falling the victim to these things eventually goes, oh, but they just need to stop you doing that long enough to have been nefarious. Right? The other thing that really helps is to just, like with everything else, right? Good digital hygiene. Do the simple stuff and you're in a way better position than if you don't. And I am a big believer that understanding the basics makes it much easier to effectively be vigilant. Right? So a little bit of digital literacy goes a long way. And you don't need to know all the icky detail. Right? Just the basics is very, very helpful. And something I like to say to people is be deliberate. Right? So what I mean by that is make actual choices. So if we want to be 100% secure, you take all of your devices, you put them in a concrete block, and you throw it in the bottom of the nearest river. And then you are 100% secure. 0% useful, all utility gone, but 100% secure. In reality, we want to do things, so we're always doing trade-offs, right? It is safer not to be on WhatsApp, but all of my family are there, and I really like talking to my family, so I will accept the risk of being on WhatsApp. So what I mean by be deliberate is know that you're making choices, and that those choices, they have pros and they have